press conference immediately following.
State office about the press conference on this topic right now.
We'll get and then get the folks in the pit in the middle. Go around the back, yeah. It'll be great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are so we are here. Are you all on time? We're about to start. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be holding a press conference immediately following Al Sharpton. I'm one of the statewide leaders that's running for land commissioner that has a border update, but that's following their press conference. You've got pressers in there. We've got a release where we have hard GPS evidence where all of the vehicles driving the people around the state of Texas can actually stop them from actually being transported. It's a hazmat, but after their press conference.
Yeah.
Where is your voice been? Why are you not speaking up for these children, sir?
Where's the rest of your Democrat Party at?
You're not speaking up for the children that have gone missing with
Where's the rest of your Democrat Party at? Where's all the support? This ain't New York. This ain't New York. We don't play that crap.
the U.S. border. Why are you not doing a play?
How much money are you making out of this? How much money are you making out of this? It's all your propaganda.
Why are you
Call
advocating
people
for
out.
violence? Why are you advocating for
All the
violence?
money you make, maybe you pay your taxes this time around.
Del Rio is a loving, caring community. We don't want your racism in Texas. Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear your racist nonsense in Del Rio.
You're a disgrace, Sharpton. Race baiter, divider, divider, you're a divider. I'm a Hispanic and I'm a conservative and I don't trust you. You cannot lead if you don't have a leader in the White House. You're all failure. Your Biden administration is all failure.
Racism and your hatred. Get out of Texas. Get out of Texas. The American people.
Be here for America, not just for the black
We're
and the
all
white
speaking up
or
for
the brown.
America.
Red, white, and blue. Get that out of your head. What's that in your head? Red, white, and blue.
Through the border. Why are you not?
There is no weaponization. You're full of it. You don't even know how to ride a horse.
Stop with the racism.
You are wrong.
You are wrong.
You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. Invader and divider. The whips used. You liar. Go over there with the Oklahoma. Put it on CNN. You're a liar. Get out of Texas.
You're doing a nice job, but just keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, there's one.
Reverend Sharpton. Reverend, I'm one of them running for statewide office. Thought he wanted to talk to me. These people didn't. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll set up after the Reverend leaves. Hey, Ron. Ron.
I got you. We gotta be this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weston Martinez. For statewide office. Yeah, I do. I give this one every degree real quick. So we have the. No problem. I understand. I'm trying to respectfully listen to the Reverend. So short version is that we've got the. Yeah, sure.
Oh, here, sir.
All right, now that the Reverend's gone, we will have our response, but we will also talk about hazmat material being transported on state of Texas highways. My name is Weston Martinez, former Texas Real Estate Commissioner for the state of Texas. I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner for the state of Texas. This office is responsible for managing all of the land across the state of Texas and ensuring that we have the ability to fund the future of children's education, fund the future of veterans benefits, and have the ability to fund securing this border. This office was created by the Republic of Texas before the state of Texas existed. We'll let the truck go by. I think everybody's done getting set. So today we're here before you. My name is Weston Martinez. We are here before you in Del Rio, Texas. And we are talking today about the fact that we are calling on all elected officials and all DPS officials to enforce the hazardous material regulations rules that are currently on the books in the state of Texas. Those regulations require each incident of unsecured load to receive a fine of almost $90,000. The state of Texas is very clear on what those things are, and it can range from anything that has any kind of a bacterial or viral infection. That does not matter if it is a person, or if it is an animal, or if it is a plant. These are rules that were established long before we've had any sort of increase in illegal crossing here in the state of Texas. If you look, when we look at COVID-19 and we look at the way it's defined, I can tell you that not only is it almost a $90,000 violation for each violation, but there's also a civil penalty for the violations of $196,000 if the violation results in death, serious illness, or severe injury to any person of substantial destruction of property. When we look at that, it has been widely reported by all sides of the media that we have experienced not only death, illness, all of the things that are stated in here. When we look at under Title 49 of the U.S. Code, it talks about being properly packaged. We know that we have buses that are transporting illegal aliens, no matter where they're from, that are not hazmat certified, and we have commercial driver's license drivers that are not hazmat certified drivers as well. When we look at that, we know that these offenses are being taken place on U.S. soil. Furthermore, the transport of illegal aliens with COVID-19 also falls under Section A, under Category A, UN 2814, which again requires numerous public safety measures, including the registration, training, shipping papers, labels, placards, etc. When you look at that, lacking of the CDL endorsement, lacking of the fact that since the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC have determined that the Delta variant of COVID-19 is more transmissible than the Ebola and smallpox, it only makes sense that the same rules be utilized to further prevent the spread of COVID-19. Not only should we protect public health and safety to enforce these federal rules, we must protect our state's economy and our people that are here. You know, we just had a press conference a minute ago by an individual that I have not seen at the border. I have not seen at the border until just recently. Why now? What is that person's concern now? Al Sharpton is, in my opinion, a race baiter, and he is intentionally trying to incite violence for his own personal gain. I believe that the Rainbow Push Coalition has operated in a manner that is consistent with organized crime in the way that they have tried to extort money from different groups around the country and around the world. As Texas Land Commissioner, I will ensure that we secure the border because I have the ability to secure the border through the monies inside of that office because we generate our own money. In addition, I also know that we will take the Rio Grande River, and I'm already working with border agencies in order to take the Rio Grande River and to make it an economic generator for this region. And taking that river and making it as wide as possibly the Mississippi River so that we can increase transportation from vessels into Laredo, McAllen, Del Rio, so we can move this country forward. There are people on this border that have been forgotten. There are people that are here that have had their livelihood stolen. And I will ensure that we put people over politics. Too many people in Washington, D.C. are doing nothing but putting politics over people. When you look at the NGOs, when you look at what's taking place, you can see it. I will close this and open it for questions. We have been conducting an investigation for over 30 days, taking pictures of buses and operators that have been transporting these illegal aliens, not only from border, but from the NGOs. We are turning those documents in to the Department of Public Safety. If you go to my website at westonfortexas.com, or if you go to the Facebook page at Weston Martinez on the Facebook page, you can also find the form where you, the citizens, can file a complaint against a bus that is transporting illegal aliens that have any kind of illness because they are unsecured ordnance and they are the equivalent of a hazmat condition like Ebola, like the way that Department of Public Safety currently already has defined on their books on the state of Texas. So we're calling on the 29 million Texans and the folks around the country. If you see a bus that is transporting what you believe to be illegal aliens, you can file a complaint if you believe that people on that bus have bacterial infections, viral infections. At this time, we'll take questions from the press that's here. Thank you for your time. I know it's hot. I could talk for a lot longer being a politician, but I don't want to waste your time and make you all hot and sweaty. First question.
My name is Will.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing the health issue. Everybody, everywhere, is being exposed to COVID. It's not big choice based on anybody. And my question is, what is the common element between Sergei Khrushchev, the son of Nikita Khrushchev, looking to come here to become a citizen, and a Haitian trying to be here? What's the difference?
I don't know that difference, but I can tell you this. The port, I drove in from San Antonio this morning. The Border Patrol checkpoint is closed. In Laredo, the Border Patrol checkpoint in Laredo was closed for 14 hours over this weekend.
You know who Nikita Sergei Khrushchev is?
I do not.
The son of Nikita Khrushchev, who was in front of President Kennedy.
I understand.
He died in 2020. That was the second, the son of Nikita Khrushchev.
Got it.
You remember the missiles, the Cuba?
Yes.
Okay. That guy come here because not because he doesn't have money,
Which
not
is
because
why.
of healthcare, but because he become to land where they have freedom, peace, and one can understand each other.
Thank you very much.
Russia,
I'm going to move on. Thank you for that.
what happened? What's the common element?
So we all want to know what's happened, but we know that when you have checkpoints shut down for days, I don't care if you're coming from Russia, Cuba, or Haiti, or China, or North Korea. the amount of ordinances that could have been smuggled by, the amount of military people that could have been smuggled by, the amount of drugs, fentanyl, all of these things that we know are a plague on our country, all of those things could have been pushed by. We have a crisis on the border, and it's time for us to have serious actors and serious people that are serving us in elected office. One of the reasons why I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner is because I know that Texas has to be strong if we are going to protect the United States of America. Texas has to be strong if we're going to protect the border. Texas has to be strong if we are going to remain a world power. If Texas is not strong and if Texas falls, the United States will fall. We have to make sure that we are processing individuals. We have to make sure that we are providing all of the things that need to be done to secure our border, but we cannot allow open border policies to exist in these United States of America. Texas is the first and last line of defense. And I call on each and every one of you here today to go to the earlier part of this conversation where we talked about our press release related to shutting down all of these buses transporting anybody from any country that is an unsecured viral infection, and making sure that we've put that with Department of Public Safety, because it's almost a $90,000 fine per head. Sir, your question?
The only reason I'll come down, you seen them boys on horses down here, quarterback. I never sat on a quarter horse before, or he wouldn't have been down here now.
I will tell you, I went to college on a bull riding scholarship. I grew up in South Texas. I went to college rodeos right here in Uvalde, not very far away. And everybody knows that if you're riding ranch horses and you're riding cutting horses, and before y'all think that we're talking about cutting on your arms, in the ranch world, cutting horses cut cattle out of the herd so you can load them up. Split reins are necessary because you might get off your horse and you might tie your horse up. Have y'all ever seen a post? You can't tie a non-split rein horse to a post. It's very simple. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you mentioned it, but also Frank and I have been talking about actually focusing on the commercial traffic that's coming out as well to inspect these structures. We know that probably about 9 out of 10 of them shouldn't even be on Texas highways. What would be your indication of that?
I would tell you that the Border Patriot Francisco, my friend who has that, I was with him here a few months ago, and one of the things that he told me that resonated with me is that we have to inflict pain on those people that are driving, that are in the economy of transportation. Not the good, honest people, but the people that know there's 15,000 trucks a day that cross the border in Laredo, that are playing the numbers, that are loading people in there, loading illegal people and illegal ordinances in there to get across. Francisco and this group, actually, Talk About It Live, told me that we needed to inflict pain. We went to work on it, trying to figure out how we could come up with a solution that actually solved the problem. Not an unfunded mandate like we see from DC all the time or Austin, Texas. And that's where we came up with the idea of going after these people with the regulations that exist related to their licenses, related to their livelihood, and making sure that we get the bad guys off the roads. If you're doing good, welcome to Texas. If you're doing bad, we're sending you wherever you came from. This is a copy of it here, and you feel free to see that.
Señor Martínez.
Yep. Sure. Cuando acaben aquí, das una en España. Sí, claro que sí. So it is true that the trains are no longer being inspected. That's part of where we had bail-offs happening in Uvalde, because trains were being inspected and they were unloading. So the unloading is still happening, but the inspecting is not. One of the things that we want to do, and I met with the chief of Border Patrol when he gave his first press conference here recently, and I told him, I said, Chief, it dismayed me that when you said all of the agencies that were helping you, the land office was not one of them. And I told him, as the largest landowner in Texas, I will make sure that every part of our land is open for law enforcement to patrol at their free will. And as we do projects on those things, that we are going to add into our criteria assessing the trafficking that's taking place in those areas, but including adding technology, adding our own evaluations so that we can know who's coming across. Right now, the border checkpoints, you know what they don't have? They don't have x-ray machines x-raying the trucks coming through the border checkpoints. I'm from Texas my whole life. That's new information for me. I would have thought that every checkpoint, 20 miles in or 30 or 40, wherever they're placed, would have the x-ray machines like they have at ports of entry. Why? Why don't we have that? That is a simple common sense solution that we need to have to protect our children, to protect our families. Next question.
If you look at them, they're rusting down.
Right.
Because they've been told not to use them.
Exactly. Some of the other questions that have been asked is how many illegal aliens are crossing. I can tell you that we've verified that with the numbers that are being reported, it's consistent, that it does represent 20% of the total number that's come across. So realize that we've got 80% are unnumbered. 80% are unnumbered. All right. I'm used to being out in the heat, even though I'm in a suit, so it doesn't bother me. If you guys have any other questions, I'll take 2 more questions. We'll wrap this up. WestonForTexas.com. I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner. I was formerly Texas Real Estate Commissioner, appointed by Governor Perry, served there almost 7 years. And I have a background in oil and gas, real estate, infrastructure. What we have happening right now is a disgrace, and nobody is reporting on this, and you guys can all break the story. New Orleans has been without power for 3 weeks. One of my jobs as land commissioner is to get people back in their homes after a hurricane. Because of my infrastructure background and my background in the home development world, I know how to do that very fast and faster than it's been done. But the fact that the media, unfortunately, is distracted with this over here, and I understand it's with good intentions, please run a story, call your producers, tell them to do a story about what's taking place in New Orleans. We have people that have been without power for 3 weeks. It's worse than what we've seen in the past. So thank you for your time, and I'll do the one in Spanish here in just a few minutes. Thank you. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. There you go. Yep. Yep. Thank you, sir.
Muy bien, señor. Cuéntanos un poquito acerca de esto, por favor.
Voy a dar un poquito de usted. Sí, mi nombre es Weston Martinez. I'm running for Texas Land Commissioner. Soy de Texas, soy de los Estados Unidos. Andamos aquí en la ciudad de Río, Texas, desde Río, Texas, el otro lado de Acuña, porque aquí en ese día me mandaron una press release que dijeron que la gente que está enfermo, que están dentro de los trocas, que están caminando aquí en los Estados Unidos, en Texas, es una cosa que no pasa la ley. La ley dije, si tengo las personas dentro de los trocas que está enfermo, no me importa de dónde eras. Si en la troca si está enfermo, it's breaking the law. A cada persona, 84,000 pesos a cada persona is the fine. The maximum, $1,096,000. La gente que andaban aquí poniendo las personas dentro la autobús, sabes que la ley dije. Y ellos saben que la ley dije, si lo hace estas cosas, te voy a quitar su licencia. Y es que ¿qué está haciendo aquí este día, en este press release? Porque la gente que está aquí está enfermo, está cruzando aquí en el río, pero la gente en los dos lados, México y los Estados Unidos, no le importa. El presidente de los Estados Unidos, he doesn't care about these people. Que puede hacer ayuda a él a todas las cosas que está diciendo a las personas en Texas, en los Estados Unidos. Yo tengo amigos que andaban a un mes agarrando fotos y videos a los autobuses y los números a las personas que tengo la gente en la tranvía para ponerlos en lugares. Mi amigo aquí, Anthony, ¿sabes también? Anthony, sin press, pero diga qué está haciendo aquí con este mensaje, por favor.
Hay miles de niños que están siendo traficados. Las últimas semanas hemos encontrado a niños que han sido sedados, drogados, y la administración absolutamente no dice nada. Pero en el momento cuando tenemos un delincuente que cruzas el río quebrando las reglas federales, eres un delincuente. Y si están tratando de hacer de que no entres al país, porque los demócratas no hablan sobre los niños que están siendo traficados, que ahorita es el 40% de los niños, ya no los pueden contactar, completamente desaparecidos. No hablan sobre eso, pero el momento que ahorita están tratando de proteger por fin nuestras fronteras, quieren a tratar de dividir a más la comunidad. Entonces eso debe de ser
Oye, Anthony, algo que nos llamó la atención de las IDs, algo que encontraron, eso te muestra algo interesante.
Sí.
Oh my God.
¿Qué nos puedes compartir acerca de eso?
Sí. ¿Yo en inglés? ¿Qué?
Mire, la condición en la que vivía toda la gente, empezaron a quebrar hasta sobre el río, empezaron a hacer casas. Tenemos video de los niños que están entrando y saliendo de los portabaños que tienen allá, jugando adentro de ellos. Desafortunadamente, el agua también, o sea, aunque no estoy de acuerdo en la forma en la que ingresaron al país, les tienen una bandeja de agua grande, pero pues el agua está hirviendo, ¿verdad? Porque pues, está bajo el sol todo el día, está a más de 105 grados Fahrenheit, entonces el agua que ellos tienen, aunque es potable, está muy caliente para que ¿están dando comida? Sí, tienen comida, tienen bastante de todo, pero eso sí es algo que a mí me llamó mucho la atención.
Anthony, háblame un poquito de las IDs.
Las IDs, básicamente los IDs lo que están haciendo estas personas es que el momento que ellos cruzan a los Estados Unidos y los agentes de los Estados Unidos vienen sabiendo que vienen de otro país que no es Haití, automáticamente ellos son descalificados para tener el asilo político. Entonces ellos están tirando sus credenciales antes de entrar al país para después ellos poder decir a los agentes que los están procesando que vienen de Haití, que a lo mejor hay un registro que nacieron allá, pero la gente no va a saber si vienen de Haití o de otro país. Entonces muchos de ellos están diciendo que vienen directamente de Haití y que fueron afectados por las circunstancias en las cuales están pasando ahí. Son que nacieron en Haití, ¿verdad? Pero ya llevan 3, 4, 5, 6 años que nos llevan viviendo ahí. Muchos estaban viviendo en Brasil, en Chile, que son de donde son estas identificaciones. Entonces ellos antes de cruzar por completo los Estados Unidos están tirando las credenciales para que lo hagan. Por favor, y la autorización a la supervisión. Anthony Agüero, Border Network News. ¿Eres periodista? Sí, señorita.
Sí.
Okay.
Weston Martinez, for Texas Land Commissioner. Listo.
Yes, sir.
Sí, claro. And again, follow about what's going on in New Orleans, please.
So this is just a fraction. We found and for every 200 you find in Chile and Brazil, you find one from actually the vast majority are all from. The sad thing is,
because that's the only way that they can request asylum. Otherwise, they'll be denied right on the spot because they've already been given asylum in Chile.
Folks, if you don't think we're at war, you're wrong. We're absolutely at war. Our border is non-existent. Our border is more porous than the sand on the beach at South Padre Island.
And the proper term is that we have to look into it, colonization.
It is a hostile takeover. It is a hostile takeover. Thank you for getting these things. It's just when you think it's bad, it's always worse.
Well, you gave too much credit to the media because they could, we went over there to get it. They could go and do the same thing. Seem to not want. They want to talk about the border control enforcement instead of the truth. Destroyed and taken advantage of the cartels that made it rich because of it.
And it's disgusting. And thank you guys for going there and getting that. Because if we didn't have patriots like this risking their lives, I mean, look, we're the ones that are down here away from our families. You don't see Julian Castro over here. Where is Julian?
He doesn't care.
Where's Joaquin? I don't see those guys. None of them. Kamala Harris did not even come down here for the inaugural press conference of the new chief of the U.S. Border Patrol that is a resident hometown boy of Del Rio, Texas. And not only is he qualified, he happens to be Hispanic. This administration is by far the most racist administration we've ever had in the history of the United States of America. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Martinez.
WestonForTexas.com. You can find me at any Whataburger or any Buc-ee's. Those are my unofficial campaign headquarters. So anytime you drive by Whataburger, Buc-ee's, remember it's time to vote for Weston Martinez. But no, WestonForTexas.com and at Weston Martinez on all the social media platforms. We want to make sure that we have a Texas left to live in after this invasion. We cannot take care of our families if we cannot even take care of the border. Don't talk to me about property taxes. Don't talk to me about building roads and infrastructure. I can't even secure the border. We have to prioritize our mission. Now, I want to cut property taxes, but we got too many politicians paying us lip service, and it's time to put people over politics.
Uzbekistan to secure their border, but we can't invest any money in securing our own.
It's intentional. We have people serving in office that should be charged with treason. And I don't use that word lightly. I use it with every intent of the definition. Thank you, guys. God bless you all. Yep.
Un poquito español.
Esta. You know,
¿Podría yo quedarme con una para presentarlo en la televisión?
You can get their information. I'll send it to them in Spanish.
can I?
You got
I need to speak them, but you can take videos of them.
so I can send them.
Señor,
I can send them
es propia
press release in
idea.
Spanish.
Dije que se quiera una foto si
You
puede
can take
hacer.
photos of them.
Ok, solo fotos. No, entonces ya lo tenemos aquí grabado. Lo
No,
que
porque
quería era presentarlo.
ellos le compró allá.
No, I'm presenting them in DC to show what's happening.
Yeah,
Ok.
yeah. But if you wanna hold it and take a picture with it, that way they know you had it.
No, ya lo tomamos.
She already has it.
Okay, I'm
She
sorry.
already has it.
Okay. Pues son de señor.
¿Usted va a entrar mañana también?
Chanza. Está a buscar.
¿Y podríamos ingresar con usted?
Me habló con una señora de México ahorita y voy a mandar una llamada a mí si puede hacer mañana o no.
¿Pero qué señora de México?
No puedo decir este tiempo.
Ah, ok, pero es de medios de comunicación, ¿se refiere?
No, son de la seguridad.
¿De las qué?
She's one of the officials from Mexico.
Es oficial de México, es oficial de México.
Ah,
Va a hablar con él.
Ah, ok,
Yeah.
ok, pero nosotros somos periodistas.
No
¿Podríamos ingresar?
sé. I'll find out.
Ok,
Yeah, se manda su tarjeta.
ok, no traigo ahora, pero ¿puedo anotar el teléfono?
Literally on it.
If you want some of these, there's
Cultural.
thousands of them right across Acuna where they're crossing.
So guys,
We're dropping them
there's a
off.
whole lot going on. We'll come back in a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and kill it this time. So God bless you. Thanks.
¿Cuál es?